Greetings, Rev J here. Thank you for joining me for your middle of the month reading, your Tarot by Tribe series. I'm going to be doing these just a little bit different for this mid-month of April, and just first want to thank you all for being here. This is an M for mature audiences only channel, so please only be watching it if you are a legal adult wherever you are, and if you're also okay with strong messages and language, because occasionally they are. I'm going to be doing these messages just a little bit different here for the middle of the month. I've gotten tons of inquiries, people asking me pretty similar questions or lines of questioning, and so I've been putting together a slightly different spread. I'm actually going to be doing 12 separate videos instead of my usual 4 by tribal element, where I'm going to be breaking these down using a 5-card spread, where we actually take apart what the theme is for the month. I'm only going to be using major arcana for that, so that we can get a really strong theme of what Mercury Retrograde is all about. So this is actually probably going to carry beyond the second part of April for most of y'all. This is to kind of help you get through some of the things that might be otherwise quite tricky. We're also going to cover what you're leaving in the past, what your lessons are, what you're carrying forward for a better future, what's been on your mind, mental blocks primarily, and we're also going to be looking at subconscious blocks. And so basically this is going to be like your way to hack out of anything that might otherwise be somewhat precarious and catching you at unawares during Mercury retrograde. So you might also want to check, in addition to your sun, your moon, and your rising, my Mercury retrograde survival kit. It's an 11-minute video. It's actually linked in the description box below. And also just to let you know, if I have enough time this weekend, I might also be doing separate relationship readings or love readings for all y'all too. So I'm trying to get to that. It's just been really busy. I do business consulting too, and I've been in a business boot camp, and I'm like recovering from being on some antibiotics too, so it's just been a really hectic time for me. But I really appreciate all of you who've been there for me, and all of you who support my channel and share my content. Huge thanks to those of you who have ordered personal readings from me, and especially those who have sent me cash tips too. Really appreciate you guys and gals and others, and you've just made it really great for me. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of this YouTube channel, and it's been wonderful. So thanks for being there for me. I love being there for you, and I'll catch you on the inside of your reading. Hey, what's going on, Pisces? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Hope it's going great. Doing a little different style reading here for the second half of April. Centered around Mercury retrograde, because some feedback I've been getting from people and questions about navigating these times when weird stuff comes up. So I'm doing a 5-card spread that is going to be done with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. Using majors as a central focus, your theme for the Mercury retrograde with special emphasis on the next couple of weeks, so the end of April. And then, excuse me, 4 other cards. They're saying you need to speak up. I've had something like this, I think. I don't remember what the other sign was, but I was literally hearing it. One of the other signs too. I'll try to remember who it was, but with the other 4 cards, we're going to be taking a look at places where you might be kind of like getting a little mentally blocked or subconsciously blocked, the things that you're leaving behind as a result of the retrograde, and the lessons that you're carrying forward for a much better future. So I'm just going to deal with 5 cards right now, and then what I'm going to do is hit the pause on here, and then I'm going to flip the camera so that you can get a view of the spirit board and your spread. I heard relationships, and I also heard Gemini. And there has been stuff coming up with Gemini, and the Lovers card, I think, did make a couple of appearances so far in the other readings. So you might also want to just check your other signs and the signs of people that you might be dealing with, because there's been a lot coming up with retrograde energy and relationships, and we're still in Venus retrograde for a little while longer here. And so there might be some things coming up around not knowing what to do in some of those situations for people. And anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and hit pause here because I've dealt all your cards. Their backs up, and I'm going to flip them where you can see them. Hey, what's shaking, Pisces? I'm going to flip your cards now. This is what the spirit board looks like. And your central focus for this Mercury retrograde. I can't talk with you guys. Jeez. Central focus for the Mercury retrograde is speak up or forever hold your peace. I heard. I was hearing something about somebody getting married, and it might be a surprise to somebody, and I thought I was hearing that. You might have Virgo in your chart. I think it might have been in the Virgo reading. You might want to go back and check that one if this is pinging for you. You also might have Taurus or a Taurian person that you're dealing with that's kind of central focus here, because their energy did show up right here in the center. So the month of May might be also something pressing for you all. The month of May often is shown up by the Hierophant, the month of 5, and people that are often born under the month of 5, which are Taurian people. But this has a lot to do with the institutions that are prevalent in our life, the things we buy into, so to speak, the foundations that we're willing to put our time into, those to whom we pay our homage and whose tutelage we're under. And so, a lot of times that's what the Hierophant's going to be. What's showing up as potential places for you to be mentally blocked have a lot to do with, I'm hearing cooperation, and this is somebody being turned down. I'm hearing about a relationship that wanted to go here. They're showing me somebody being married and an uncooperative situation. In some cases, this has to do with how people look at partnerships, is what I'm hearing about. This 3 of Pentacles energy in reverse is how they're saying you might be getting in your own way. And potentially feeling subconsciously blocked by this Page of Pentacles energy in reverse. They're talking about non-starters and things that aren't always being nurtured properly in the spirit of cooperation. We're hearing in some cases about the ways that you've been taught to chastise yourself by institutions that might have taught you the way you're supposed to be. There was something like this coming up, I believe, for Capricorn, too. You might have Capricorn in your chart, be dealing with Capricorn people, but there was something, they were actually leaving some of this energy behind, like this. This was in their leave behind energy. In some cases, it was the way they were taught the foundations as a child to be. And, let's see here. What you're leaving behind is 7 of Pentacles, reversed. This card has been making the rounds. You might have Leo, be dealing with Leo or Virgo. This card has shown up several times. And it's been on other people's minds as a block, more like the thing that was keeping them from doing things productively for themselves. And in your case, they're saying that whatever that 7 of Pentacles energy is, that is something that we normally put our time, love, devotion, tenderness, consideration into, that doesn't always pay off. That not feeling like it's paid off feeling is going to the past. They're saying that whatever it is that in some cases has been why maybe situations felt like uncooperative to you, where you weren't getting like equal partnership is what I'm hearing about. I'm hearing about like situations where you may have come feeling like you were in earnest and like it wasn't being respected. And I'm hearing maybe since you were little, and even by people that might have been like your religious people, upbringing, your church, the ones that backed you up, and not feeling like you ever kind of like got anything for it, like nothing ever came, and you put so much in. We're hearing about things that were sown. All that stuff's going away. They're saying that a lot of things that were unrequited is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing about things that you really just came maybe feeling a little unprepared. They're saying in some cases you came with like such innocence and willingness, but it was just like not really being nurtured is what I'm hearing by the foundations that were present, and just feeling like, God, I spent all this time doing these things and nothing ever came of it. And they're saying that that feeling of not getting cooperation or nurturance or appreciation for what you were putting your time into with others, it's all going away. And that what some people have held on to as, you know, foundational and, you know, what we've put our faith in, it's really kind of at a point now for some where they're either questioning what they had their faith in, or they're really leaning very heavily on it for sustenance. And they're saying that, well, you've learned a lot through those struggles, because this Seven of Wands is what's showing up as the lesson learned. And it's kind of crazy because here we've got two sevens, and this is a lot about time that's passed, time that's been invested, time we've had to fight for, and in some cases divine time. 7-7 is a lot of times about divine timing. They're saying a lot of it has to do with, I'm hearing about something with your Chiron placement and, you know, the wounded healer in you. And it's kind of cool here. Some of y'all might even have birthdays in the third month. You know, if your natal sun is actually what's got you on this Pisces reading here. And that's what this is here, too. It's 3. And I'm hearing about your innocence. I'm just talking about the things that you've had to fight for and the things that were put upon you. Because in this situation here, you know, this card, just somebody standing on a hill and getting ready to fight off some enemies that aren't really touching them. Sometimes it's just the things they're willing to stand up and take a stand for. But sometimes, at least the way they're showing it to me here, I'm talking about innocence, a child that wasn't nurtured and maybe manhandled by whoever the institutions were. And the things that were put upon, because in this situation, none of that stuff is hitting this person. But I'm hearing in this situation, they might have been forcibly pursued in ways that were inappropriate to the handling of this beautiful young person who had interests and things that they wanted to pursue, and maybe were being, in some cases, manipulated by whatever these authority figures were. And we're hearing in some cases it's time where these things are being questioned, and the things that maybe we've put faith into, whether it was partnerships, other people, jobs, in some cases, you know, our own upbringings. Doesn't have to be religious, but sure could be something spiritual. that we've been tethered or married to. And so, there's a lot that's coming up here, and they're just saying that there are real, genuine opportunities to allow yourself to recognize that this is a divinely orchestrated time in your life. And it's a time for you to realize that if you were not nurtured in ways that felt good, that you're having opportunities to kind of stand up for yourself and realize the ways that the payout wasn't there and what was maybe never coming, because we're hearing in some cases about people that have been highly manipulated by whatever those foundations are, and being kind of triggered into realizing that, whatever didn't feel good there, they're actually in a position to nurture now. And in some cases, it's like not being afraid of that relationship that brings that partnership and that nurturance in, because they're saying some of that is a stress response. You have all your cards, aside from the major theme that I didn't shuffle these in a way that could bring reversals, because I chose to do these in full spectrum and to not read reversals for the theme here. But the minors, they're all reversed here. So a lot of this, they're talking to me about ways that Pisces is being encouraged to renew their mind about what it is they hold on to in their own faith. And I'm not telling you what to believe here, Pisces. Just saying that the guides are saying that there's guidance here, that things can coexist, and that some of your faith, although the people that it may have come through might have been ones that didn't ever give you what you really earned and maybe never will, that they don't necessarily have to impede the faith that you have in yourself and the things that are worth standing up for, starting with yourself. Because I'm hearing for some of y'all, that person right there is you needing to know that somebody is willing to stand up for them and the things that are valuable to them, and that they have put time and consideration into, and in some cases nurtured along with other people, and that they deserve a happy outcome because they have actually sown into many things. And we're hearing in some cases about different types of relationships that are being entered into here that kind of balance the energy on both sides, whether we're willing to look at it that way in a spirit of cooperation after perhaps being jaded from the past is really where the opportunity is. And in some cases, we're hearing about it being, I'm hearing a match made in heaven. So you're going to know if that's for you, Pisces, but they're saying in some cases what you found is actually the cooperation and partnership and the energy to heal these things and to neutralize these points within yourself. And in some cases, that's what this is. This is you taking on that divine partnership within yourself. And in other cases, they're saying it might have something to do with relationships that could have, more of a traditional sort of implication, especially if it has something to do with things that were timed to happen when you might have been ready to appreciate what it is to actually be nurtured after all of that has happened in the past. But they say that you need to know that what you're getting out of this is a good lesson in what it means to stand up for yourself and be stood up for, and also what it is that you actually earned. So hopefully that makes sense for you, Pisces. If so, I really appreciate your thumbs up, sharing, subscribing. Let me know how it hits you. And if I can do a personal reading for you, I'd love to do it. And if I don't hear from you, take care. God bless. And I'll see you again in a couple weeks when I'm back for your monthly reading. Bye for now.